Y'all ready to get into Mugen Train?
Ooh,
Mm. Let's
man,
go.
talk about some hot sauce right there, boys. It was just fire the whole movie, honestly, in my opinion. But man, it was so good. What were your guys' initial thoughts? Did you guys ever read the manga and like knew what happened already, or you guys was this like your first like raw reaction to it all?
I mean, I knew what happened just because
Of
I see
course.
spoilers on Instagram.
Oh, you don't see them, boy. You look for them. Get out of here.
I mean, I kind of do, but so I already knew what happened. I'd actually seen the fight on YouTube. I basically, I just
I
I
see
just
the fight.
spoil everything and then I watch it from the beginning just to see how they get there. But man, that animation, speaking of people that do bad animation, UFO table, y'all are like the Floyd Mayweather or the Muhammad Ali of animation. That was just insane.
They're killing it right now, man. They did such a good job. The whole movie was good. What were your thoughts on it, Nick?
I went in not knowing anything about the movie. I just knew it was canon. So I walked in with my boar head on, sat down, get your eight
Mhm.
pounds of popcorn, and just went into it. The first half of the movie, I thought it was going to end there. And I was like, man, this is kind of trash. There ain't even like a good storyline going on. They're just on a train. The train turns into some demon, and that's it. But
Yeah.
then the second half of the movie, they freaking step up the game. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
god.
They really elevated it, huh? With that last fight. And honestly, guys, there might be some spoilers, so listen, to your own discretion, but cuz we're going to get into this review a little bit.
Um, yeah, I would say, like Nick said, they did a good job of kind of warming it up. It's like, okay, you get to see Zenitsu, Tanjiro, and Inosuke kind of doing their thing, and then they kind of take you into the last act, and it's like none of those three guys are even relevant. It's like, okay, y'all go sit on the JV bench because it's time
It's
for
literally what
Rengoku.
it was. Yeah. The fight was so sick. All right, let's just kind of start from the beginning. All right, let's go back to Nick since he had a raw reaction to it, right? Right, your initial thoughts were it was kind of slow, man. But how'd you feel about that Rengoku versus that Upper Moon 3 demon?
It was wild, especially because you see Inosuke and the other characters kind of leveling it out at first. You see them battling the demon, and then they don't even compare to the strength of that
Exactly.
final battle. So
That,
it almost led up to and hyped up the final fight more because they showed their struggles on the train, but then all of a sudden you just get the captains coming in, and it's a
that's
whole different story.
and it was. I mean, kind of like I feel like right, it kind of does set you up, right? Like you're kind of watching it that whole first half, and you're like, man, it's like it's pretty cool. Like what now? You're like this being a movie is kind of interesting. Like it's nothing like grand and special, but then they elevate it, right? Because it's just like cool. You guys just saw like what Tyler was saying. You literally see JV squad playing in that first half.
Yeah.
You literally like see these guys who are like it's because even at the moment you're like the animation's cool, whatnot. Like Inosuke and then Tanjiro fighting that demon, that train demon. It's like kind of cool, right? Whatnot, cool animation. Like, oh, they're having a nice little scrap. But then it just like boom. It's like when you step into the varsity game, man, and you're just watching these dudes. It was like a basketball game, right? Varsity's over here like windmill dunking it, and you're just like, oh shoot, man, this is a whole new level. It's like Rengoku versus this demon was just they just like the whole power level, like what you're saying, right? I love how they even like make like Inosuke, who's like super loud and kind of obnoxious, rambunctious too at sometimes, right? You're just like, oh man, like this dude recognized it. He was just like shut off. He's like, man, I can't like jump in or else, I'd get in his way. I'd probably just die. All that type of
Yeah.
stuff, and he was kind of scared to like even about going in and helping him in general. So that was a pretty cool thing that they added to it.
And the comedic aspect they put into the characters themselves would make me want to just watch an entire movie filler on the main three. Just
100%.
Yeah.
because Demon Slayer did a really good job of making the main three pretty unique.
They do a good job with that. Tyler, I mean, I know that you kind of like watched it and read the spoilers beforehand, though, man. But Did knowing like more of the story to it, did it kind of make it that much better to you?
Man, I think they did everything they needed to do. They kind of, they worked on that kind of goofy, funny relationship between Nezuko and Zenitsu. Zenitsu, he had a pretty cool moment where he had his time to shine, even though he's kind of a baby. They had some funny stuff with Inosuke. Um, and then especially like if you know what happens later on in the manga, it was cool for them to just like really go into the soul of uh, Tanjiro. Like you kind of get to see Zenitsu, Inosuke's, and Tanjiro's subconscious. It's like it's really showing who they are as a character. And Tanjiro, he's just like he's a nice guy. He's a good guy, and we know things get a little bit darker from here on out. But it's just showing like this dude's got pure intentions. He just wants to help people out. Even these little kids that were about to go children of the corn on him. But I don't know if I told you or Nick this, but I thought this was the best anime movie I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah. That says a lot too, man. That's pretty. It's pretty big.
That's where I had to call a foul. Call him out a little bit. I was
Yeah.
like, if you're trying to compare it to Studio Ghibli, I don't know what you're doing right now, but it was a good movie.
I could see like just like knowing Tyler like how like what he looks for in anime. I can see why this was his like best one. But right, like there like this wasn't the best anime movie for me. Probably not close movie. I love how what they're doing, kind of making an anime movie to canon because you don't see that a lot. So I think that kind of got a lot of people like into it. But yeah, they didn't. To me personally, they don't have as much depth like as a Studio Ghibli like film had. You know what I mean? Or like Your Name. Like there was just so much moving parts, or like a Silent Voice stuff like that. Like those movies, those are more unique because that is like those are like specific movies. This is like kind of an anime adapted into a movie. You know what I mean? Because I feel like
Yeah.
I don't think like it was any more special just because it was a movie. Like I feel like if it stayed an anime, it probably would have been the exact same still. Except we just all we kind of get this cool, like these cool episodes, which probably would have taken like 3 episodes maybe down into one,
Yeah.
4, who knows? But definitely a really good movie though still. So I can't complain.